we want to start by having a review of what we did last week. And we gave out an assignment, and I have received a number of submissions. I've received a good number of submissions from different participants. And that shows commitment and the willingness to learn. So I just want to start because I saw Grace in the call. So Grace Ndanu, I want you to share your screen and show us how you achieved your results because you submitted your assignment.
Just
so,
give me a minute.
Okay, thank you. So last week we were able to introduce ourselves. You can just proceed with sharing your screen as I talk, and then I'll give you the opportunity once you are set. So last week we started by looking at the basics of Microsoft Excel. We looked at how we can enter data in different ways into Microsoft Excel, raw data into Microsoft Excel. We were able also to perform some data validation as a way of entering data, and also using forms to enter data, and also use some basic functions. Use some basic functions in Microsoft Excel to be able to do our work, to be able to accomplish our work, and some formulas. So we gave out an assignment. The assignment that we had in the call was simple, but now I had to revisit the assignment. And give another assignment via email, of which it was straightforward. So Grace, are you ready for you to show us what you're able to deliver?
Not yet. Give me a few minutes, kindly.
Okay. So for gender balance, I'll also invite someone else also to prepare. Let me check here who is in the call already.
I'm ready.
Okay, Grace. So you can proceed.
I don't have the permission to share my screen.
Oh, sorry. Let me check that. To share your screen. So let me give you the privilege as a co-host. We see if you can be able to share your screen now. So just check, Grace, if you can be able to share your screen.
Yes, I am able.
Okay, then share your screen. Thank you.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Okay, so this is my assignment 1 and
Yes.
3. Yeah, so what exactly should I explain?
Yeah, you can explain to us what you did because we had instructions in the assignment. So, yeah. So maybe you share with us the assignment, the flow of the assignment we sent, and then you, step by step, because it was also step by step that you do this, then you do this, then you do this. Hope your assignment is is closer to you.
Yes, I'm looking for it. Just a minute.
Okay, thank you. So anyone who does not have Microsoft Excel in the call, anyone who does not have Microsoft Excel and you have a laptop, that means that maybe your Microsoft Excel is either outdated in such a way, maybe it requires a product key, or in one way or the other, you don't have it at all, because once you install Office, you should be able to access to Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, PowerPoint, Publisher, Microsoft Project, and other Microsoft 365 products. Okay, no one, that's fantastic. Wanted to find out that so that we can support you after the session. So, did you get it?
Yes, okay. So
Yes, you are sharing one screen, which is so maybe you share your entire window for you to be able to switch between screens.
okay.
Yeah, you stop sharing and then you share again. Yes, so we are doing the review for those who have joined us. Right now, we are doing the review of the assignment we had, because we cannot proceed if we cannot remember what we we covered. And I think it is also an opportunity for those who were not able to be available last week, because last week was our first session and this is our second session, and we gave out an assignment 1 to be done. So that was via email.
Okay,
Okay,
so
Grace,
this
you
is
can
the
share your screen. Or am
Is
I
it-
the only one who cannot see the screen? Can
I'm
someone
sharing.
confirm that?
The
Yeah,
screen has been
It's
shared.
okay. It's okay. Yeah, it's okay now. Okay.
So this was the assignment that was given. The assignment 1 was about data entry, and those were the details of the assignment. You create a new Excel worksheet and save it with your name. So I did that here. And then you enter the following data, column A, for the dates, 13th to 17th May 2024. So for the first sheet, I just entered dates without any consistency for 10 customers. And then column B, customer ID, column C, customer first name, column D, customer last name. Those are the columns as indicated in the assignment. And then column E, I use the function to get the full name. So column E is for the full name, column F, gender, column G, emails. And then column H, item category, I, item name. And then there's a repeat in column D and E, so I just created another column, J, K, and L, because I didn't think that should make any sense if I use the same columns for different categories. I don't know if that's okay.
About column?
There was a repeat here, column
Oh,
B.
sorry.
Price.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah.
Okay. So
Yes.
those are the columns. And then, so for the dates, I said I just used random dates. I did not auto-generate. I just typed in the date. For the customer ID, I typed in the first customer ID as 100. And then it showed us that we go to, if you want to fill the entire for the number, you go to fill. And then you go to series. And you select a step value and a stop value. My stop value was 109. So it auto-generates. Sorry about that. It was auto-generated from that format. And then
Sorry, Grace. You can just tell your colleagues what you have just done, because at first you did it and it was doing it row-wise instead of column-wise,
oh,
the series. So you just
okay.
need to point that out. Yeah, so that when someone meets that can be able to handle. Yes.
Okay, so on the custom ID, after inputting the first custom ID as 100, I went to home, fill, series. So if I selected, as you have seen the first time, rows, and I put my stop value as 109, it will fill in as the rows. So and that is incorrect. So I undo using this icon, and then I go back to series and I select columns so that it fills downwards instead of horizontally. My stop value is 109. And then it autofills for the rest of the columns that I've selected. Is that okay?
Yes, that is okay. That is okay.
Okay, so I just selected random names for the first name and last name. And then for the full name, according to the assignment, they said use a function to get the full name. So the function that I used was this one, concatenate C2. C2 is this cell for the first name, and then there's in between the quotations, there's a space to create a space between the first name and the last name. And then D2 is this cell. So after putting that function in here, it will take the name in the first cell in C2 and D2 and concatenate it in E2 to form the full name together with the space in the quotes. And then after inputting the function, you drag it through up to here. But since I've already done that, I won't do that. But that's all you need to do. And then the names will be auto-filled based on the first name and the last name. Is that clear?
Yes, that is clear. So that is how we fill down, and Excel will be able to detect to apply the formula going down. Yes, we can proceed, Grace.
Okay, so for the gender, you said use drop downs, male, female, and prefer not to say. So to create a drop down, this is the gender. You click on, you type like a gender, male, and you select that cell. And then when okay, I don't know if I have to recreate it.
So what you can do,
Pardon,
just
yes?
go to, you can just open a new sheet and then create their column known as gender, so that those who are not here last week can be able to learn about how to create a drop down. Just
Okay.
go to a new sheet and just do that. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so for gender, and when I select this cell, I go to data and data validation. I click there. And then here I select a list. And for the source, I'll type in, because it's just 3 words, mail. Those are the inputs. And then I'll go to input message and create a title for the input message. So something like select gender. The input message, you can see something like, please select. From the drop-down list. And then for the error alert, since it's just an information, I don't need to use this. I'll use an information. For the title, you can say gender input and error message. Can repeat my input message or any other message that seems relevant. And then I click OK. So when I do that and go here, I'll choose mail. So in case I type in a name that is not from the drop-down list like that and click OK, it gives me this error. Kindly select the gender from the drop-down list. So if I want to put the drop-down list to the other cells, I just drag it down here. So you can now select the gender that I want based on the drop-down list. I believe that's okay.
Yeah, so yeah, Grace, that is okay. And I just want to also give an input that when you create the drop downs, it is good for you to fill down first before you select the first input. Like for mail, so first of all, you drag down when it is still empty. Yeah, you drag down when it's still empty, and then from there now you do the entries the way you want.
Okay,
At any point. Yes, yes. But it is clear. Unless there is question from colleagues. Is there any question? You can unmute if there is any question. If there is no question, you can proceed, Grace.
Okay, so for the email, in the assignment, it said create emails from the first name and domain name, example.com. Like this is an example of it. Don't type user function. So here I used this concatenate lower. Lower is to ensure that since the full name on the first name and last name are both in capital letters, lower ensures that the email name is in lowercase. So use the lower function. So concatenate into brackets lower, cell C2, the first name, and sorry about that, and cell C lower D2, the last name, and then use at example.com as the domain name. So when it concatenates, concatenation is adding. So it adds the first name, the last name, plus this domain name and makes it an email. And then after creating the email, you just drag down like the rest, and then you can be able to get the emails from all the inputs. I believe that's okay.
Yes, that is okay. So we use concatenate, and there is another advanced part of concatenate that we recommend using, which is concat. Yeah, so you can use concatenate or use concat. So concat is the updated version of concatenate. Yeah, but you can use either interchangeably for the time being. Thank you. Let's continue.
And then for the item category, you said you're told to use drop down, so the format is the same as the gender. You just create an icon, you create using the data validation, and just create a drop down list. The same, I used 4 categories. I believe that's okay. And then we move to the item name. I just inputted an item. There was no drop down involved. For the quantity, I inputted a random quantity and the price too. So for the amount, you can use a formula, quantity and times price. So when I click this cell, you can see that the formula is J2 times K2. So quantity times price. And then after importing that formula here on the amount, I just dragged it down and it's calculated the amount for all the items in the sheet. Yes, that's how I did my assignment 1. Is there any question?
It seems there is no question, and that is very clear. That's a good one, and I think there is the second part of the assignment.
Okay, let me proceed.
Okay, yeah. It seems everyone is okay, unless there is a question. And if you encountered any challenge, you can also raise it here, so that from what you've seen, or you can also be able to enhance or improve on it. So just proceed to finalize the second part of the assignment.
For the second part is using forms. And in forms, you said in the same workbook, you create a new sheet and name it form. So that's what I did here. Creating a new sheet, you can just click this plus icon and you create a new sheet. So when you create a new sheet, to rename it, you just right click on the form and then you rename it just like that. So for this assignment, you need first to add a form into your tab. I'm not sure if that's the name. So you go here, file, then you go to options, then quick access toolbar. And then you change this from popular commands to all commands, and you move to form. Here it is. So when you click here, you just click this add button, but I've already added it to my quick access toolbar. So there's no need for that. So after you added it to your quick access toolbar, this is the quick access toolbar, this appears up here. So you just click OK and you're done. So when you add a form here, if you wanted to create a new form, let me just use another sheet for that. File, options. You wanted to create another form. The assignment said use the form tool to create a data entry form. We've already done that. Input the data for at least 10 different items using the form for the assignment 1 above. So if I wanted to input the data for this assignment using the input, I'll have to type in all those, but I'll just use a couple.
Yeah, you can just copy the first column, the first row. Sorry, you can just copy the first row and paste it there, so that you save time on typing.
Okay.
But that one will autofill. That one will autofill when you drag like that. So just need, yeah, like that now. Yes. Now highlight like that. No, don't go to the bottom corner. It will autofill. And undo.
And it's not working.
click out somewhere else, click outside, yeah, then undo, Control Z.
It's not working.
Okay, okay. You just change that. Just change that to back to its name. But while doing the selection of the first row, don't go to the bottom corner. Don't go to the bottom corner of your first cell. So just highlight like there when it is still in that addition mode, the big addition mode. You can just highlight like that while holding your like that, and then you copy. Okay. So sometimes you may experience such. So you need to know that when you do that, you'll be out of is a shortcut for autofill or fill right. Fill right is now going to the right direction. Fill down is going downwards. So you can proceed. Press.
Okay, so I forgot to mention about the ensuring that the header is fitting into the cell. So when you wanted to do that, you have to go to the code. So in this sheet, I'll go to sheet 3 and move to view code. And I'll just use the formula I used last time. So I have to click worksheet on this, and then cells.
Cells.entire.autofill. Someone was asking that in the chat section. So here it is. Here it is, and we have also shared with you in the chat section. So that's what we use to automatically resize the columns based on the inputs in the data. Proceed.
Is it autofill or autofit?
That is autofit. Autofit. Thank you.
So just close, and then there, it fits perfectly into the cells. So the question said input data for this into the form. So you have to click for a form to be created. It has to have the titles. That's why we first add the header titles. So you click form. Sorry about that. So these are the inputs: the date, customer ID, first name, full name, gender, email, item. Okay, so for the date, what's the date today?
This 24th.
24th May. And then customer ID, I'll use, let's just say 10. First name and last name. For the full name, you can use a formula for a form. The only thing you cannot do with a form is using a drop-down list. So for the gender, we'll have to input it directly. For the email, you can also use a formula. Item category, there's no drop-down list, so you'll have to type in the item category. Let's say okay. So it's auto-inputted. So if you want to continue adding new forms, you can just click that and move downwards and create another form. And you continue like that. So that's how you create a form. For the full name and email, you use the formulas that I used in the first sheet to fill in. I believe that's okay.
Yeah, that is really okay, and that is what we covered about the form. And you can also still fetch the data that has already been submitted, and you can again edit it and fill it back, send it back, submit it back by just the same form. So can you just show that you can be able to click on form and
Like that.
yeah, you can be able to just submit that entry. You can hit enter to submit, and you can fetch it by finding previous. So you can find it by finding previous. So you can find previous as you make changes to your data and submit, and the changes will update. So for example, you can change your customer ID to something else just there, and then you submit. Yeah, so like that. So that's what something also we mentioned, and we said that when you want to move from one column to another in the form, you use the tab for you to easily navigate than moving your cursor by yourself. Okay, thank you. You can proceed. I think that was the final part. What about the, yes.
Sorting the data table in order.
Yes, yeah.
So if you want to sort the data table in order, first you'll have to make the form into a table. To do that, you will go to insert, then you click table, and then it will select the columns for you. Then you say okay. So you now select the type of table you want here. If you had a table over here, you select the type of table you want. Yeah, I believe that's okay. So now you have to have a table so that you can be able to arrange them in increasing or decreasing order. Okay, so you click here. You want to arrange it in decreasing or increasing order. Select. Right now it's in decreasing order. If I want to change it into increasing order, I'll just click here, newest to oldest. Sorry, oldest to newest. So it starts from 13th to 17th, but if you want to convert it to decreasing order, just click here and you can sort it to newest to oldest, like that. So you can also filter what you want to see based on the dates. If I don't want to see anything on 13th and on 14th, I can also do that. So the table is auto-sized. Yeah, I think that's all on that.
Yeah, that is nice. That is really nice. That is really nice. So is there any question on that part? If there is no question, you can proceed.
Okay. So for the last assignment, you just had to calculate the average, total, and minimum and maximum price using these functions. So to calculate you're supposed to use this form. So to calculate the average price of items, you use average as the function name. And then if I wanted to calculate the average of the price of items on this column, I just typed in, let me just repeat that procedure. I typed in average and then I select this cell and I select the rest of the cells. Then I input the average like that. I believe that's clear.
Yeah, that is okay. And you can as well just tap on the first cell and hold shift and hit on the last cell while writing average. First of all, you write average, just go to the next cell after that, which is in L. Yeah, you can just repeat there, no problem.
And then I do what?
Yeah, you can just hit, just tap on that where you want to start. You can put there full colon, just type full colon there. And you put the last one like that. Yeah, okay.
For the total quantity of items, I use the formula total. And then
quantity, yeah, you highlight the quantity and not the price. So yeah, so total, you see there, total should be able to reflect if it is a function in Excel. So you can use sum.
that's it.
Yes, okay. Mm.
Okay, for the maximum, I use max as the function. Maximum reward. Maximum price. And then minimum, same thing. Like that. Believe I'm done. Yes.
Yeah, that's nice. Can we have some reactions? If there's no question, can we have some reactions to the good work that was done by our colleague? Can we see some reactions? Okay, so up to that point, thank you. You can stop sharing, and I think it's good. We can now build from what we have already learned. And if someone had missed our session, we have just covered everything from what our friend here, Grace, has been able to present to us. So up to that point, I will just take it from there unless there is a question. So if you did not do the assignment, you still have time to do the assignment and you should be able to submit it. The link will still be open and you can be able to submit the assignment. So I just want to open the assignment. So if you have your assignment there, I'm going to use we are using the same data. So that means that depending on the data you created, so I'm going to use the example, the data set for what Grace has just presented to us. That's what I'm going to use here to add on that. What else can we be able to do with that data? So let me start by sharing my screen. And I would like to know if we are able to see my screen in a few minutes. Can you be able to see my screen? Am I presenting? Just want someone to
Yes,
confirm.
you are presenting.
Okay, thank you. So I'll just delete this some assignment here, but I have pulled it from online, so the online copy of this is there. So I'm just going to use this as an example data set that all of us have. All of us have our data. So this data, because once we have the same columns, that means that we have kind of the same data. If we don't have, please, you can proceed and create your data so that you play around with the data that you have. So I want us to learn something here, an additional thing from what we have learned. So for example, you have the entries of 100,000 customers, 100,000 customers, and you have their customer IDs. How can you be able to fetch their name? So let me create here a new. Let me just copy some part here from the first name, last name, full name, gender. Yeah, so I can just take a few things here. So for example, I want to know, let me leave alone the first name and the last name. Maybe I just want to know the full name, gender, email, and the amount. Let me leave alone the item category. And maybe I just look for the amount. So how can we be able to fetch data from this data? So first of all, I want to start by creating this data to be in a table form. You don't have to do that. Is it a must for you to do that? But you can. It's good when we view this data when it is a table. So we said that you make data to be table by going to under home and you format your data as a table. You select which table do you think it is good for you. You are okay with the colors. So for me, I'm just creating a simple table there. And I want to also create here another subtable here. So I'll still go to home and I will go to format as a table. And maybe I have something like that. My data is having headers and I click OK. So I have subtable here and I have the main table here. And now I want to use some input from, I want to fetch my data based on the customer ID. So customer ID is the primary key. So while you are dealing with the database, you need to familiarize yourself with foreign key, primary key, unique key, and such terms that we use in managing databases. So for example, when you have this data here and you want to call, you want to know what is the full name of this customer, what is the gender of this customer, what is the email of this customer, and what is the amount of this customer. I've just taken a snapshot of the data that we have in our data set. So I want us to use some advanced formula here to be able to fetch data from that. So the first formula we are going to use is VLOOKUP, the vertical lookup. So in Microsoft Excel, you type equal to VLOOKUP, and then you open your parentheses, VLOOKUP, and then you open your parentheses. So the lookup value is the value that you are going to use to fetch your data. That is the lookup value. You separate with comma, and then you go next. The table array, you select the range of the array of your data. So there's no need for you to do the date, but you can. But for me, I'll just start from where my customer ID starts from to up to the end where I have amount, like that. Or sometimes you can reference to the whole table if you feel that is okay with you. But I'll just do that. I separate with the comma. So my data is in table form. That's why you don't see here the range of cells. Here we have the name of the table, which is table 2. And from all, I am selecting column ID to up to the amount. So I just selected the array. That's what we call the table array. And then we go to the column index. So column index, we start by, the first thing we want to look for is full name. So we look from our table, full name is on which column number? Which column number? So which column number? Maybe we can just check the column number here is from the customer ID. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is number 4. So I'll just write here 4 and separate with the comma. And now I want exact match. Exact match is false. So false is 0. So you put a 0 there, and you can be able to close your VLOOKUP function in Microsoft Excel. So I want us to see what is going to happen, and then I'll be able to repeat, or if there is someone who has already grasped that, we'll be able to repeat on my behalf. So we said you start by writing equal to VLOOKUP, then you provide the lookup, value. The lookup value, when I click here, you see the lookup value, and the table array is that whole part is the table array, your table range in other terms. And then you check which column index is what you are fetching. What am I fetching? The full name. Here I'm fetching the full name. Using what? The customer ID, which is the lookup value. And then I want the exact match of what? Of the customer ID and the full name. When I hit enter, here it will return null value, is NA, not applicable, not available, is an error in Microsoft Excel. So what does that mean? That means that this cell is blank. So when I'm able to provide here any input that is in this range of the data that we have, it should be able to reflect here. So I want to proceed, and do the same for gender. So I want to log. I'll be able to show the easiest way without the locking cells, so that they become absolute, so that when we apply the cells going the other side, going to your right, it does not move the customer ID, because everything we are fetching using the primary key, which is the unique key. So you just you hover around your bottom corner, right, and you apply that to the other end. So it is also a null value. It's also null. It's also null. And then now here under gender, you change the column gender here, the column position of gender from 4. 4 is for full name, so gender is 5, and you hit enter. You go to your email. And you also change from 4 to 6, because email is in. You start from the customer ID. You count this one. Email is number 6, and then you hit enter also, and then you go to the amount. So amount will be in which column number is the last one. So we start counting from here: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it means that the amount is in the 11th column. So we change this from 4 to 11, and we hit enter. So anytime we provide here a customer ID that is available in the table, it will be able to reflect all these other items. So for example, when I provide 1 or 3 here as my customer ID, I am able to get the full name, I'm able to get the gender, I'm able to get the email, I'm able to get the amount of the person. So this does not only apply in business, but you can also apply in employees, in sales, in whatever other environment. Health data for patients, if they have, you just identify the unique identifier. For example, it might be something like the national ID, if it is the unique identifier, or if you usually assign unique primary keys to any field you're dealing with, you can be able to apply this formula. So you can change this to 105, and you see everything changes instantly. So this one saves you time in terms of ensuring that you save time looking for, in a record of 10,000 people, you are looking for a particular customer ID. So you can just do this, and you have everything at your fingertips. So suppose we enter a value that is not here, a value that is not in the range of our data. For example, 200, customer ID 200. So it will be returning an error. So we don't want it to return an error like this. We need it to tell us that this person is not found, is not our customer, is not in our customer database. So how can we do that? So this can also help you while giving customer IDs to your to a new customers. So we can do that by advancing this formula. But before we advance this formula, I want to understand if we are conversant now with the VLOOKUP. So let me just ask if there is anyone who can be able to do that based on the data that he or she has. And then we can be able to proceed to checking for the errors if the data is not found. So let me stop sharing and check if someone can be able to show us how to use VLOOKUP from the data you have, the same as the one I have just used, because this is relates to the columns that we have already. Richard, are you in the call?
Yeah, let me try.
Okay, please try. I will guide you so that we
Thank
can
you.
be able to present that to us. So,
Yeah,
let me enable you to share your screen, or you are able to share?
No, I don't know how to share.
Okay, you are unable. You cannot see the share button, or you are.
Where do I locate the share button?
Okay, so let me just check and add you first of all as a co-host, so that you can be able to share your screen. So this is Richard. So Richard, you should be able to see a button. You should be able to see a button that looks like uploading something. Uploading something. You should be able to see a button on your screen as if you want to upload something.
Host controls.
Yeah, from the not host controls. Just after, do you see where the end call is? For example, end call or leave call.
Yeah.
So after that, when you go to the next is 3 dots.
Yeah, more options.
From 3 dots, you go to raise your hand.
Yes.
Then from there, the one that I'm saying is the one for
now.
present. Yes.
Now. Okay. So I press on
Yes.
that. Okay. Yeah. Then now I click allow.
So yeah, so click on it. What have you seen?
Allow not now.
Allow not now.
There is a
No, can you see share tab? Can you see share window? Can you see share entire screen?
Entire screen.
Yes, click on entire screen.
Then I allow now.
And then tap the screen. Tap the screen you see inside there. Tap the other screen you see inside, and then click share down there. After you tap on it, click on share down there.
I click on allow.
Which allow?
I was supposed to open my Excel.
Yeah. Open your Excel. First of all, share your screen so that we can be able to see that you are sharing. The way we have guided you, have you clicked the share button?
Yes, present now. Then
yes.
I'm supposed to
click on it. Once you click on present now, you will be able to see Chrome tab.
Screen.
Yes, entire screen there. Click on the screen that you see inside your entire screen there. Click on that screen, which will enable share button down there. Yes, like that. Thank you. Yeah, now go to your Excel.
Okay, now you can be able to see it.
Nice. Yeah, we can be able to see your screen.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, just copy the way we did. Copy from full name.
From full name
to email. Full name to email.
Shift.
Shift, then tap email. Not everything, just tap your things have mixed up. You can undo first of all. I think you mixed everything. Just undo first of all. Undo again. Then copy when it is like that.
Yeah.
Copy when it's like that. Yes,
Shift.
and
I don't know.
undo. So just hold
I
shift.
press
Hold
shift.
shift. Don't drag. Hold shift and tap email.
Email. Okay, like
Yes,
that.
copy. Right click
Yeah, right click. I copy.
and then copy. Yes.
Then I paste.
So go to cell H14. Cell H14.
Cell H14. That one.
Yes, click there. Then right click
Right click.
and then paste. The
I
first
paste
paste.
question.
No, just paste. Yeah, that one. First paste.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then now add the amount. Type their amount after email. Type their amount. Yes. Amount. Yeah. Okay. So go to before full name and write there customer ID. Yes.
Customer ID. Thank you.
So once we have created that, now you can now tell us what you just you can remember, and then we will guide you.
Yeah, from here now we want to sort some data, selective data from our big data. So now we are going to use the VLOOKUP function. So while on full name, I'll write equals, then VLOOKUP, double click the VLOOKUP, then we open the quotes, then now we go to the lookup value. From the lookup value, we click on the lookup value, then I go to the customer ID.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, customer ID.
The cell below the customer ID title.
Oh, the cell below.
Yes,
Below the ID title, yeah.
Yeah.
Then from there we go to the value array. We click on
provide
the value
comma
array,
first of all.
or a comma. Then we go
Yeah,
to
then the table array.
Table array. And now from the table array, now that I can't remember.
Select the whole table from customer ID, from the ID. Yes.
From the ID. Do I press the
Select
shift?
the whole table. Yeah, you can hold shift and then
I drag.
no, hold shift and then you click the last cell, which is L8.
L8.
The last cell, L8.
L8 is L8 is
down there, down the corner, at the corner right, bottom corner right, nine something. Yes,
okay,
like
fine.
that, and then comma,
then comma,
and then you can now provide your column index for full name.
The column index for the full name, that is
so you count
for the full name is I count 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yes,
Mine still comes to 4. Then the force, you got the what? Comma.
After 4 you put a comma, and then now you choose between approximate match and exact match, which is we need an exact match, so you type there 0.
0. Do I press the force? The force?
No, you can type. Yeah, you can tap. Just tap false.
Then now
double
I
tap.
press 0.
Yeah, then you can close. So 0 is like false. So either you write 0 itself
like false,
or
okay.
you write false. Yeah, then you close. And then you hit enter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So now,
So once you have that,
yeah,
first of all, test if it is okay. Put there some customer ID that already exists.
customer ID that is existing, that is 101, and press yeah, it works.
And then you check if it is actually the same
101
in the
is
main database.
yeah, just as Molo.
Okay, nice. And then now you go to, so you can now apply the same from gender and also the email and the amount. So hit tap on, you press there, and then now
Yes.
drag. So first of all, before you drag, I want you to hold some cell absolute. So you hold your lookup value absolute. Hold your lookup value absolute. So to do
How do I
that,
hold it? Yeah.
double tap, double click there, double click that cell,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
just where the cursor is, put there the dollar sign. The dollar sign makes a cell absolute. So
Oh,
the
the
cell right
dollar
now
sign.
is, yeah, the dollar sign for money. The
Yeah.
money sign for, it is
So
for
I
the
just
difference
I
with
just
your,
type the dollar sign. I just type the dollar sign.
no, you don't type the dollar sign name, you just type the symbol.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's the symbol.
the symbol.
There is that one. No, it's shift.
Hold shift and then tap on it on that phone.
That's what I did. Okay.
Yes, like that. And then now you go to G15. Between G and 15, put there another dollar sign. So Dan, do you have a question? Dan, I see you're
Between G
raising
and
your
15.
hand. Yes, between G and 15, put there another absolute, which is a dollar sign.
Okay. So it's
Nice.
absolute.
Then
Absolute.
yes, yes. Then now you can hit just enter, press enter, press enter.
Yes.
So once
I did.
you've done that, I want you to drag, drag to the, drag everything there. Just you also need to make your
That
table array absolute, because that's why I was formatting my data as a table so that I don't have to do that. So you have also to make your data table absolute. So put the dollar sign
array
before B,
absolute.
before one. Yeah,
Before B.
the array table. Yeah, put there a dollar sign,
Before B.
and then
Then
in
after the
between
B
one and
also
B, yeah.
another dollar sign. Okay.
And then
I
you do
press
that
enter.
also for L and 8. L and 8, L8. Also do the same. So that you close your
Before
table
the L.
entirely. Yeah, before the L and
Before the L.
after L.
L.
Before L, not before semicolon. Not before colon. Just delete that absolute that is extra. Yeah, so
Before the
put in
L.
between full colon and L. Yes.
After the L also. Like that.
Yes. Yes. And after you've done that, now you can press enter.
Press enter.
All right. Now you can now drag. Just so click in that cell. Go to your bottom right of that cell, bottom corner of that cell. Right. Drag now to your right. Drag to your right by holding. Yes, like that. Drag up to amount. Drag up to amount. Yeah, there. So go to gender. So you see, go to gender now. Go to gender, that value under gender. Yes. Now double tap, change from 4
Yeah.
to the number 5 for
4
gender.
to the number
Yes.
for okay. The number is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you hit
Then I
enter.
press enter.
Yeah. and then you go to
I-
the email, you also do the same, and you do the same for amount.
I change that value to 6. Then I press enter. Then I go to that value also. Then I change that to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Yes.
No, not correct.
Just check, counter check. You wrote 411.
For
Wrote
11,
411 instead of 11. Yes.
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you can change the values in the customer ID and see if all values are changing. Change your customer ID and see if change there to an existing value.
102. Press enter. Yeah, Joseph. Exactly. It's changed.
And maybe choose something else like 104.
104. Yeah, it works.
Okay.
Yeah.
So and put there 110.
110. Yeah, not applicable because I don't have.
So we
have
need.
that.
All right. So we need it to communicate that you don't have, not that
Okay.
you tell us that you don't have. We need the cells to communicate that we don't
To
have.
communicate that.
So what we want to do,
yes.
yeah. So we want to add another function on top of that function. We want to add another function that will enable us to know that it is not found really. So I want you to do that. So I want you to go to full name column and down under the fetch. Yes.
Before that, before I had
Yes.
put the absolute on the formula, it was
Yes.
still showing my if I put my record 101, I press enter.
Yes.
Before I could put the absolute, it still showed
Yes.
that my 101 was just a smaller. So what does the absolute do to the
Yes.
formula?
So the absolute, what the importance of absolute is to lock that when we drag, it does not affect the cell reference. So we lock that every time we'll be referring to the customer ID, because when you drag to the right, every time it will now be adjusting to the next column. So for us to lock that we don't have to experience that, we use the absolute. And the same to the table, because if we don't lock our table, it will continue fetching downwards or in another format that we don't want. So we have to lock our table as well, so that we remain with the same database range.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I want you to double tap. Your full name, which is Justus Mlamwa, up there. Yes. Double tap.
Yeah. Yes.
So I want you to go in between equal and V for VLOOKUP. Before VLOOKUP, I want you to type, in between there, type if error. If error, one word. If error is down there, error. Double tap. Yeah, it's there. Yeah, double tap.
Yeah. Yes.
It has opened a parenthesis. That's okay. So go to the end of VLOOKUP parenthesis. The end of VLOOKUP parenthesis. The far end after false. The far end after false.
Yes.
So you put a comma. The far end after false, you put a comma. Put a comma there.
Comma. Yes.
Then open the closing speech, the opening and closing speech mark, which is opening and closing speech marks, the double quotes. Yes. And now put there not found.
Yes.
put there not found.
Not found.
And you close.
And I close.
Then you close.
And I put with a close with a bracket.
Yeah, you close with the bracket now. Finally, you close your if error function and you hit enter. You press enter. So anytime you will be changing the customer ID to a value that does not exist, it will tell you not found.
So if I type 110, this is not found.
Yeah, so you should apply that to all the other gender, email, and amount, so that anytime you put, you should update the formula to all the other sides as well. So you can just drag the way we dragged at the bottom corner, right? The bottom corner, right? Just drag the bottom corner right to your amount, and then you change the values from 4 to their corresponding column values. So for gender, you will change to 5. Email, you will change to 6, and amount you will change to 11. So double tap that value for gender and change the column index to 5, and also change the others as well. So colleagues, hope we are together. Hope we can see how we can detect if a value does not exist in the range of the data that we have provided. Hope we can be able to see that.
So now if I
So you can, yes, you can try another value.
101, it works. Then if I do 110, yeah, it works. It works.
Yeah, so that is it. Thank you so much, Richard, for leading us through learn how we can use the practical use of VLOOKUP. So it's a very nice function. So it has another method known as HLOOKUP. So I want colleagues to research on HLOOKUP. That is one of the homework. And I also want you to research on XLOOKUP. So I want you to research on HLOOKUP, and that is horizontal lookup. And I want you also to research on XLOOKUP, X for X, XLOOKUP.
XLOOKUP.
XLOOKUP. All right. So Mohammed, you have a question? Thank you, Richard. You can stop sharing unless there is a question before. Yeah, unless there is a question that relates to what you're sharing. Mohammed, please unmute.
Yes, hello.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, greetings. And I don't have a question to get into Richard, but I have another general question.
Yes, yes.
The first one is I had a problem on boarding.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry about that. I think we shared an extra link after the session, which was allowing people to even dial into the call. So maybe that's why it was that's why it was the problem. Sorry about that.
Yeah. So the other one is I have not been with you since the start of the session. So I wanted to have a recap at the end of this.
Yeah. You'll okay. Yeah, you will have the access to the YouTube link for the previous class, and also if we could have maybe joined earlier, Grace Ndanu led us through what we covered from the assignment we gave out. Yeah, so we'll also be able to share the recording for the same so that you can be able to follow up and catch up with the rest.
Okay, thanks. And then for the future classes, I need the link. Where can I get it? From my email or WhatsApp? Or
From your email, and also our WhatsApp links should be shared in the chat section, so that you can be able to keep in touch and also know when we have classes. But
okay,
classes
thanks.
are always on Friday. So if you are in any WhatsApp group that you'll see the link, please ask there that you need the link to the class if you don't have. The link is just the same link that we use throughout. So you can just keep the link.
Yeah, recently I've asked a BLP group that I had. I just as an anonymous, just I've asked anyone with that link, and then another guy has helped me to be here. So if I get any other source I can get the link from
Okay.
classes, I could appreciate it.
Okay, thank you so much, Mohammed, about that.
Okay, thanks. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
So Richard, thank you. So you can mute Richard. You can mute. All right. So we have learned a very interesting thing about what we have already covered, and I want us to learn some using the data that we have. We are just building on what we have. But before that, I want to show us how we can fetch data from web to Microsoft Excel. And then from there, we will go back to some part of conditional formatting in Microsoft Excel. So let me check here if I can share a link. There is a public data that we can be able to access. It's government data, but it's public. So we can be able to access, and it's public data that we can be able to access and learn how we can be able to put that data into Excel so that we can maybe use for analysis, or if we want to do the research about what we want. So there is the WhatsApp group is there. So one of my colleagues should be able to share the link to the chat section for the WhatsApp group. And I have shared the link to the public data. So just copy that link. And I want to share my screen so that we can be able to see how we can onboard that data, get such kind of data from the web to our Excel. And then from there, we will continue with the learning conditional formatting based on the data that we already have, like the one we created. So we just build on what we already created. So I want to ensure that everyone has access to that link I shared, and my colleague should also be able to share the link for the WhatsApp groups and other social media platforms that you can be able to get us. Anyone without the link for the data? Yes, can I see by the raise of hand? You can raise your hand if you already have the link. Yes, raise your hand. Can I see? Oh, nice. Now we have the data. That's good. We have the link. So that link is a government data that's public, and we can use it for research if we need to do that. So I just want us, majority of people here are from Kenya, but we have colleagues from Tanzania and colleagues also from Uganda, others from Rwanda, and it's privilege to have the rest of us here. So you can just lower our hands. Thank you for that. And I'll just open a new tab so that we can see how we can load the data. So let me start by sharing my screen. I start by sharing my screen. right. So hope colleagues, you can be able to see my screen. So let me start by first of all going to the resource. So here is the data. The data is from the devolution department, where our counties were devoluted, and the data that we want to access, you can use that knowledge to access any data that is public. That is, the data that is public is the data that is published in this way. So about county integrated development, don't want that. I want the first one, general information. We see that's general information. So we want to access this data. So the data must be in the table form. The data regards to the history, not history, the understanding that we have about our, this is Kenyan data, that we have 47 counties, and we have the codes for each county. We have the county, we have the sizes in terms of kilometer squared kilometers. And we have population here, data about population regarding the NPHC census for 2009. And the capital for each county, and the governors for each county, and their deputy governors, and the women representatives, and the main economic activity that we have in these different counties. So this is a kind of interesting data, and I know majority of us, we didn't know that we can get such data from the web, from the public, and we can be able to know our governors, our deputy governors, and our women representatives, and even most importantly, the main economic activities that we should be doing, and even the population of our different counties, and also the size of the counties themselves. So to fetch that data, let me come here. I create a new sheet. I don't know if we are together. Can someone confirm that we are together? Can someone confirm? Okay, thank you. So for us to get data into Excel, so there's different ways for you to get data into Excel. You don't have to type data into Excel. So you can get data. Yeah, hands are up, and I think you should lower the hands because we had asked if you can be able to access the link, and we already did that. Unless you have a question, you can be able to ask, unmute and ask. So under data tab, you can be able to bring any kind of data that you have for Excel. So you can bring text data, you can bring data from the web, you can also create connections and import data from other sources like databases like SQL, and just close that. Under data tab, you can be able to check existing connections if you have linked to any, or you can create new connections from there, and you can analyze data directly from SQL to Excel. But now we'll show you what you have to do. You can also click on get data, and you can get any data from Microsoft Excel workbook, from JSON file. You can get data from the PDFs. You will also just do the same the way we will do for the data in the web. For PDF, you will also be provided data is in tabular form, like is in a table, arranged in a table. Is the easiest way for you to import data. You can import data from SharePoint to Excel. SharePoint is a Microsoft product also that acts like a database. You can also get data from other databases here, SQL Server, Microsoft Access. You can also get from the Azure, that's the SQL data, and the Synapse for analytics. So those are some of the ways that you can be able to bring data to Excel. There are a lot. And now for us, we want to go with from web. So you just click from web. Let me just show that again. So under data tab, you go to data tab, and then you go to from the web, from web. So from web here, you under basic URL, you just paste the URL that we provided with you, and you click on OK. You click on OK. So sometimes when you're doing research, in any field and you've accessed data that is public, maybe health data that is public from WHO, HWO, or any other public data, you can be able to not only just type or copy and paste where you want, you can just fetch it from where it is. So you can preview here the tables that you have in that link. So the first table here, you can see even some documents that are here. So these are other documents that are in HTML format. So you can be able to, you cannot be able to bring that data here. It will not have meaning. So you come to the first table 0. So table 0, you can see is the data that we want. You can preview here. Or table 1, this one contains different websites to different counties that we have. So you can bring that data, for example, table 0, and you can click on load. You can click on load, or sometimes you can transform, just like in Power BI, you can just transform data here. It will open the query, the query editor for the data, the Power Query editor, where you can be able to query your data like just like in Power BI. So maybe I change this value. This value is null, and you can be able to alter it. So you can be able to remove. You have here a lot of things that you can do with the data. You can combine new columns, and you can remove columns. You can do anything that you want to do with your data. So, but for me, let me first of all load the data, because this data is in the public. Let me just load it, and then we can be able to see it in the Excel. So I'll close the, sorry, let me just cancel. Let me just close this discard, and I will go to data tab. That's the Power Query for Excel, and go to the from web, and from web I will paste the link and click OK. After that, now you select the table that you want to load. The way we said, we want to load table 0. So you give it some time to load. It depends with the website. If it has a lot of data, it will be able to take a lot of time. So just click that and load data. So from that, you give it some minutes, and it will be able to load the data. So you see it is getting data. So just give it some minutes, and you'll have your data, which has 47 rows loaded into the Excel. So you can just close the query connection. And now you see I have my data in the tabular form, and I can be able to interact with the data the way I want. If I want to analyze this, maybe I want to know which county has the highest population, which county has the largest size in terms of size, and I can be able to know maybe the top 10 counties, what we are learning top 10 in terms of size. We are learning to conditional formatting, the next thing. So you can use that concept to determine conditional formatting. So under home, you go to conditional formatting, what you're learning today, and maybe we want top 10 counties in terms of size. How do you want format data? You see the top 10 counties in terms of size. Tana River is here, is formatted, and this other is already formatted, but you can change how you want it to be formatted. Here, you can change that, and you click OK, so it will do the formatting. So you can be able to see, and you can sort data based on the color by coming here and sort data by color, and sort data by the font color. That's what we just want. And we can see all our data has been sorted now based on the color, and we see the top 10 counties here in Kenya. If some of us we had no information about size of our counties, now we know which one is the top, which one is the biggest county. So you can do that. You can do to the population, and so on and so on. So these are some of the economic activities that our counties do. So you can know which, if you are from Kenya, which county are you from? What is your main economic activity as a youth? You can know it's good for you to know that. So you will stop sharing. and maybe request one of us to show us if they've been able to do that. And then we will also request one of us to identify from the amount column for your data. I want you to format the top 5 customers in terms of amount they pay. So I'll stop sharing unless there is question on how to onboard data from the web to Excel. Unless there is any question on how to onboard that. So that's how we do that. And if you have raised your hand, you can just unmute, or please share your screen. Let me ask someone else to share. Anne, how are you? Anne Irungu. Anne. Anne is not with us. Mercy. Francis, can you unmute? Richard, you want to you want to share with us how you have enabled? Okay, proceed, Richard. I like that. That is the energy. Proceed, please. Proceed by sharing your screen, Richard. Can you unmute, Richard, so that I can be sure that you wanted to share your screen? Okay, I think, Richard, we cannot hear you if you are talking.
You can hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah.
So, did you want to show us how you can load data to the web, from the web?
Yes.
Yes,
so you
yes.
can see my screen?
Not yet. It's not yet shared. There we go. Okay, there we go. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah. So you said we can import the data from the web. So we go to data.
Yes.
Then from web.
Yes.
Yeah. But now when I click now, it does not give me the place where I can.
Yeah, paste the address there. I think you are using like
a lower version. I have
is it Windows 2007? 007, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you can paste there your
My link.
link. Yeah. Yes. Go. Click on go.
What?
Click on go. Yeah, so that you can preview. So if you're on the internet, you can just wait some time, and you should be able to preview the tables that will be presented to you, and then you tap the table you want, and then it's going to be able to import. You see it is loading there. There's some progress bar. So you have to be patient with it.
Mm-hmm.
What's that warning for you?
Revocation information for the security certificate for this site is not available. Do you want to proceed? Yes.
Yeah, just proceed.
Again, I don't know. Click yes.
Yeah, I think it is still loading and loading and loading.
I don't know whether it's my machine is slow.
Yeah, I think it's your version.
It's my version.
Okay. Yeah, so that's how we load, and you can be able to preview once it is ready, and it is really taking time because it is still thinking we are in 2007. we are in 2024. Mm.
I will have to click
Yeah,
on this.
so
It is still working. I can stop sharing.
yeah, you can stop sharing, so you can just proceed with that, and I think that way you can be able to click on import once it is ready. So you select the table that you want, and you click on import,
Yes.
and you'll be good to go. Okay, thank you. So let's proceed with the data that we have already. You can just mute Richard. So let's proceed with the data that we have already, and the data we have is for the customers. Is
Before you
someone
proceed,
talking? Yes.
okay, before you proceed,
Yes.
I have a question. I got
Yes.
lost, as per se, while loading on
Yes.
my side.
Yes.
The place where I got lost was after they uploaded the data on Power Query Editor.
Yes.
There was a table one.
Yes.
I got lost there. I think I wasn't in while you are presenting. So I've tried and I've
Yes.
stuck.
Yes.
I was trying to do on myself, and I stuck
Okay.
on the table one now. Like,
Oh, okay. We just loaded table 0 because that is what we just wanted to know how to do that. We just loaded
okay,
only table 0. Yeah.
okay,
The other
okay,
ones you can just do the same. Click on it and load
okay.
directly. Yeah.
Ah,
And you
thank-
don't need to go to the Power Query for you to do that unless you've learned about how to use the Power Query editor is when you can
okay,
be able to do that. Or else you can just change data from the Excel itself in case you
okay,
want to do that. Yes,
okay.
yes.
Thank you.
All
So
right,
then,
welcome. Try and you will find out. So let me share my screen, and what we want to do is we want to use the data that we have already that we created from the assignment 1. So let me just remove this. We have learned how to use the VLOOKUP. So please, one of the homework is to look on how we use VLOOKUP, XLOOKUP, and HLOOKUP. So in the next class, someone will present to us, will present that to the rest of the team, how we can do that using XLOOKUP and VLOOKUP. So from there, so maybe we want to check here the customer, top 5 customers in terms of amount, top 5 customers in terms of amount. So can someone show us that? Can someone show us that? Because I did that while looking at the top 10. So you can just come here, you come to your data tab. Can someone show us that from home using the conditional formatting? Can someone show us that? Or let me, okay, in that case, let me just proceed, and then we will be able to allow one of us to do that as we finalize the class. So under conditional formatting, we have highlight cell rules. We have top bottom rules where you can be able to select the top 10 items. You can be able to select the top 10% of your data, overall data. You can be able to select the bottom 10 items. You can be able to select the bottom 10%, the above average, the below average, or you can go to more rules. Does someone has a question? You can unmute, please, if you've raised your hand. I'm not in the position to view who is the person. So under highlight cell rules, we have greater than. Yes, yes. Yes, yes, please. Proceed. Please proceed. Okay. So we are discussing the conditional formatting. So under home, you go to conditional formatting. So you can see highlight cell rules. You can follow that, or you can select the top or bottom rules. Like we used the top 10, but you can change the number. For example, here, I can be able to select, for example, this column of amount, and then I go to home. I go to conditional formatting, top. If it was sales, so you just go to top 10 sales. So maybe you have your top 10, top 5. So top 5, you can preview here. It is already selected. Now you can see, and then you can sort data, maybe based on the color, and then you, or based on the top, the highest value. So you can just change the color that I want to format this data with. Maybe it's green. Green is not good. You can even customize the color that you want. You can customize the color that you want. Red is not a good color for top. Red is a good color for bottom. Then you click OK. So you can be able to see here the top. So you can filter this data, sort data by color. You can sort here data by color, sort data by color, sort data by color. Just sort data by color like that. And you can now know which customers are this. And further, you can just sort data by color, and you can be able to see that. So we see these guys, and you can change if you want just one person. You can be able to find out that. So we can combine conditional formatting together with functions in Excel to know who specific is the person with the highest values. Maybe we look here and see the minimum value is minimum value is 48. Minimum value is 36,000 for my case. But for your case, it might be different, because this one is for the Grace Danu's assignment. I just downloaded it. So if we want to know which employees, which customer is that, so we have to select the customer column and go to the data, go to the home tab, and go to the conditional formatting. And now here we go to new rules, conditional formatting, new rules, conditional formatting, new rules, and then use a formula to determine which cell to format. So we said you can combine the formulas for you to be able to check which values we want to compare. So we'll say equal to. So for my case, we are referring to, I'll just take a scenario of one of the cells, which is D2, for example, but I will not lock the value. I will only lock the column, and then say the value is greater than 35,000, because we have 36 there. So you can say 35,000. And how do we want to format the color? This data that is, maybe this time we change another color, maybe this. And then we click OK. So this is the value, the color that will be used to format the name of the customer based on the amount value. And then we can be able to click on OK. And you see, it has formatted the top 5, because now it is relating with what we got here under amount. And that is how we can use the data we already have to determine, to understand what can we do more with data that we have. So I can just zoom in again, and maybe zoom out a little bit, zoom in, like that. Yeah, so I want someone to show us that. So you go to home tab, you go to conditional formatting, and maybe let me add something else. So conditional formatting, we said you go to the new rules, we said you go to use a formula, then you can put here the formula. We said it is just equal to, let me put it in the chat section so that we can know. So XLOOKUP is not found in your version. Okay, Let me just type first of all what we are supposed to do. So you lock the column, for example, column A2, column H2, where it contains the amount that you want to check, and then you write 35,000. So that is the formula that you can use to do that. And let me go back to my Excel. So here is where you put that formula that I have shared with you, and then you change the color here, the formatting color that you want, and then you click OK. So you click OK, and that's how you can be able to format that. So I want us to just add something here before we end the class, and I will request us to do it as an assignment as well. So under conditional formatting, so you can provide a data bus on your data. You can provide a data bus on your data. Let me just icon set. So icon set, it can be able to tell us these reds indicate that these values are minimum. So it is putting some warning that these values are less. And then green, it's formatting the values that is at the top tier. And then that is the 68%, top 68%. While yellow formats 33% to 68.5% of your data. And then below 33% of your data is the red. So you can just go to manage rules, still under home. You can go to the conditional formatting. That's how you change. You just learn more about this, and I want us to use the data we created to practice this. And then you share, you submit the assignment as the assignment 2. So the assignment 2 is about using conditional formatting. So play around with this, anything that will be able to do in citing, learn more about how to use the color scale, how to use the icon scale, like the one I have done that, and then you can manage rules. So under manage rules, you can be able to see all the rules that you have applied to your data. So you can drop rules that you don't want by just clicking on, for example, I want to drop the top 5 rule. So I just click on it and then delete rule. And then I'll remain with the other rule. So when I click OK, that rule for formatting data based on that top 5 is gone. So that is it. So you should have a feedback form in the chat section. There is a feedback form in the chat section. And I want us to provide feedback about our session today. But the issue to do with the feedback form, the issue to do with joining, we will just stick to sharing the link we shall stick to sharing the link via the email rather than further sharing another link when we have already started the session. That's what brought some challenges to majority of us on how to join the class. Please provide here your feedback about how the session was and what you are looking forward to with the things that we are learning, how you are going also to use some of the skills in the comment section. Any comments, so you can put there how you are going to use the skills, and maybe in which field do you feel like you need us to explore more, so that we can be able to relate to what you are currently doing. Unless there is there maybe let me start first of all by finish by saying thank you so much for attending our today's session.